Ding, 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 ding. Transformers is out, baby! That's right. As well as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and the Boogeyman. We're going to be talking about all three of those movies right now, starting off with Transformers Rise of the Beast. Let me tell you something right now. I have been looking forward to this movie for a while. I was so excited for this to come out, and it exceeded expectations. Wow. This movie was a banger. Basically, what goes down, for a little synopsis for those that may not know what happens, this dude Noah jacks a car, and while he's jacking a car, Optimus Prime, the leader of the Autobots, puts out a bulletin. He's like, yo, I need all the Autobots in this one location right now because it's about to go down. And what happens is the Autobots need to find this certain key, because if it falls into the hands of the Terracons will then bring Unicron, the Eater of Planets, to Earth to destroy everything. And then if the Autobots get it, they can go back to Cybertron, blah, blah, blah. And this takes place about 12 years or so before the events of Transformers 1. This takes place in 1994. And it takes place in New York City, baby. Which brings me to the first thing that I love about this movie, is that it takes place in my hometown. And they did a great job with the vibe of it. It's not like Scream, what is it, Scream 6 or something, the last Scream that came out, where it took place in New York, but it didn't feel like New York. Like, it could have been anywhere, basically, except for the subway scene. So that was great. Now, there was so much to like about this movie for me. Number one was Scourge, the main villain of the movie, of the Terracons, because the Decepticons are not in this movie. It is the Terracons, and I like them way more than the Decepticons, because the Decepticons are basically a bunch of bitches. We all know that. Megatron's a bitch. Starscream's a bigger bitch. The only ones I like are Shockwave and Soundwave. But yo, Scourge is a fucking animal, bro. The second real fight scene in the movie, but really the first time that the Terracons and the Autobots go at it in front of the museum when they're trying to get the key, Scourge almost kills Optimus, and he ends up bodying one of the Autobots. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say any big spoilers, by the way. This is going to be pretty much a spoiler-free review, but he bodies everybody in the first big fight scene. And I'm a big fan.
In this movie.
They do. And I'm a big fan of his cohorts, of his teammates. Scourge is a badass. He's ripping people. He kills them and takes their insignias off their bodies and collects it like patches. It was badass, man.
That's brutal. I love that.
It was pretty brutal. Now, also, what I liked about this movie was Mirage. As I said before, Mirage is actually, for those who are big Bumblebee fans, and if you're going to expect Bumblebee to be like the co-star of the Autobots, that is not the way this movie goes down, and that's very refreshing to me. Although I love Bumblebee, Mirage was a great second lead in the Autobots for me. He was played by Pete Davidson, and he did a way better job than I expected. I didn't really expect him to do a bad job, but he was really funny. He was on point. It was great, man. You could tell it was played by a comedian, because the shit he would say was funny, man. It was on point. So Mirage was a great aspect to the movie, a great second in command, if you will. Not really second in command, but co-star in the Autobots. And if you don't worry, because Bumblebee is in the movie and he plays a major part of the movie, so don't worry. I also forgot, because if you don't know, the Maximals are in this movie as well. So if you've seen Beast Wars, they're basically the characters in Beast Wars. You got Optimus Primal and you got Air Razor. They're in the movie too. They're fucking shit up. It's awesome. It is awesome. My other favorite part of the movie, another shining aspect of the movie, is the male star, Noah, the guy that jacks the car. Because, first of all, he blows Mark Wahlberg out of the water in terms of performance and in terms of a likable character. Way better than Mark Wahlberg. I don't know if he beat Shia LaBeouf. A lot of people will say he beat Shia LaBeouf probably, but I don't know about that for a fact, and I probably don't think that. I'm probably going to go with Shia LaBeouf, but I thought Noah did an amazing job. Number one, he was telling Optimus Prime where to stick his fucking Allspark right up his ass whenever Optimus would get crazy, whenever Optimus would try to say something slick, because Optimus would, because in this movie, he really hasn't interacted with humans that much yet. So when Noah's like, I want to come through and I'm trying to help you out, Optimus is like, no. And then Noah's like, well, guess what? Since you failed your planet already, I'm not going to let you fail my planet. I'm coming. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. You tell him how it's going to go. So he was great, man. The acting.
Yeah, facts. You should.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was about to say, that's crazy. They never actually coming from that point. It's always like, okay, super cool robots driving really fast. Like, you have to be a friend. You say you're going to help me. Nah, this dude was like, nah. If you can't even save your own planet, bro, and we're not even as big as you, you need some help.
Yeah.
I like that.
Unicron was coming for that ass. Unicron was coming for them cheeks. And you already know you already know if you're like, over the age of 6 years old, that the key is it falls into the hands of the Terracons, and the Autobots have to get it away from them. Everybody knows that. That's how the movie's gonna freaking go. So Noah was in there, right? Now I gotta give a little bit. I gotta give a little something to whet the appetite, right? Because this was flames. They end up giving Noah like an Iron Man suit so he can fight side by side with the Autobots. He's there, just throwing bullets at freaking at Scourge.
Yo, it's been a long time. I've been wondering why they never gave humans no big ass machine. Like they could have made one.
He puts on the suit.
He had a gun though.
He had everything. He had the cannons on his head. He was blasting shit.
Yo.
He could fly.
Okay.
He was smacking people around. He had the knives and shit slicing Terracons in half.
Bro had a gun.
It was great. It was great, bro. It was fucking great.
That's crazy.
The end fight scene. Oh my God, bro. When they all hit it's in the trailer, when they all hit the battlefield finally, they're trying to get the key away from the Terracons because Unicron is about to come down and demolish everything. An amazing final sequence to me. And let me tell you, if you've seen the movie, you already know what I'm talking about when I say it. I'm not going to say much. All I'm going to say is there is a special assistance on the battlefield at the end that I had to rewind it and watch it like over, because it was just so flames, bro. There's like a little, let's say a special package comes to the battlefield at the end and gives the Autobots and the Maximals a helping hand. I also forgot to say that there was one aspect I really liked. I'm not going to give too much on this either, but Scourge does this thing where he like shoots I would call it like a parasitic robot onto one of the good guys. I'm not going to say much, but it basically takes them over. Awesome. Awesome. I've never seen anything like that. To wrap this up,
an alien species that can take over another alien species. That is pretty cool.
It was sick. And there's a girl in there, Elena. She also did a great job. She's like the she's like an archaeologist type girl. She's a
hot girl for the movie,
huh?
She's the hot girl for this movie.
She's the only girl in the movie. So whatever you think about her, that's up to you. But she's in there like, yo, I know the ancient texts and I know the ancient writings, and she's in there in the pyramids and doing all that shit. She's great too. She's from Brooklyn. They did a great job of getting the actors. I don't know if they're from New York, but they got the slang down. They sounded like they were from New York. It was great. So to wrap this up, here is the only critique I have in my final rating. The only critique I have is I think there should have been some more combat in this movie, in my opinion. The movie was 2 hours and 7 minutes. And although the combat was great, like I said, I felt like some of the scenes should have, if you're not going to make more fight scenes, draw out some of the other fight scenes. Now, with that being said, this is probably why that happened that way. Because unlike the other movies where you see you got like, Mirage, you got Ratchet, you got Wheeljack, you got Sideswipe, you got all these Autobots, all these Decepticons, there was really only 4 to 5 bots on each side the whole movie until you got to the end. Yeah, until you got to the end where reinforcements are coming in from Cybertron and stuff like that. There was only 4 to 5 Autobots and Terracons on each side, so there's not much you can do there besides, until you end up killing everybody. And then there was like 4 to 5 Maximals too. Eventually, too much fighting, they're gonna start killing each other. So I guess that's why they had to spread it out. Maybe that's my only critique. With that being said, this movie was a 5 out of 5. It was awesome. It was awesome. The little side story where the brother has health issues and Noah's fighting for him. The ending was great. I'm not even going to say anything about the ending, but if you know, there's a nice little crossover at the ending that I did not expect at all. 5 out of 5. I really hope they expand this universe. I really expect them to expand this universe because I think they knocked it out of the park. For sure.
Let's go.
You have any comments even though you didn't see it?
Listen, you gave a good review. I'm not really a Transformer movie guy. I love animated series, love the cartoons. You know what I'm saying? Think they're fantastic jobs. I like the long, sporadic series of getting details into the Transformers world. That's what I really didn't like about the first Transformer movie. When they first started, I felt like that they were carrying with the story beats, and then they started going into just straight action. And I'm a guy of short stories. I love a good story. I like seeing where the hidden messages are and all that stuff like that. And it sounded like in this movie they actually went back to good writing instead of just action. And I know you love action. So for the fact for you to say a 5 out of 5, even though you heavily love action, and it sounds like this was more story based as well, I'm excited. Because you're acknowledging that part. And I'm like, okay. Not a crazy big cast. It's just enough robots to remember who's who. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this guy's over here. This guy's the big, you're able, they're going to sell toys, which is great for them. But it's always great when you can remember the cast. Yeah. Because that's one thing I forget robots, the Transformers. I'm like, who is that? I remember
every Autobot, every Prime, every Maximal, and every Terracon in the movie. I could just list them off pretty much.
I'm excited, so I'm definitely gonna put this on a list for the reboot. This is on a reboot, right? So I'm gonna actually start over. Give this one a chance.
I don't know if it's a reboot, but it's definitely a prequel, and it's not by what's his name, Michael Bay, which I was a little nervous, but they knocked this out. I don't know I don't know what OG Transformers are gonna say. I don't know what they're gonna think. And I really don't care.
I heard from a friend when we was out the movie, they was, people didn't really like the Transformers. So I was like, okay, I'll hear it from my boy later on.
I mean, I'm a very I know some of G1. I know a good amount of G1. I know some of Beast Wars. I'm not an OG really heavy Transformer. I'm more of a movie Transformer guy. I'm more into the movies. So, I'm probably going to end up liking it more than people who are really into the actual story aspect, because I'm sure they got some stuff wrong. Because I honestly never heard of the Terracons. I thought it was going to be the Predacons. That's what I thought we were getting. So I don't know if they did some kind of lore change. So if you're a Transformers real deal fan, let me know if they did anything like that, because I never heard of Terror. I always thought it was Predacons. But I had a great time watching it. Can't wait for them to make another one. Across the Spider-Verse is out. You saw it, Crow. What did you think about it?
Oh, this movie is hands down right off the back. I gotta let you know, this is again the animated movie of the year. It's going to get its award. It's going to be. It's going to be on every awards, anything. I don't care what it is. It's best soundtrack. Best creative, this year's once again, the best animated and art direction. It was just they took what they did last. A lot of movies struggle, right? We see a lot of movies struggle with taking the format from the previous movie and saying let's update this, let's step it up, and they stepped it up this movie, and I was so happy. And this one, I was sitting there with my friend. I said, "Yo." Once again, I'll be downloading this album, this soundtrack, because It's a banger. Like every scene when they had music, and I'm just gonna stick on the music. It was just some great hitters, and they're definitely gonna be, if they're not already playing on the radio, they're definitely gonna be playing on the radio, just like Sunflower was when the first movie came out. So if y'all hear any songs and you're like, well, damn, where is this from? Across the Spider-Verse. Ask somebody. You should already know this. You should know this. If you hear these songs bumping in some country music, some hip hop, all this, oh my God. I just had to get that first part out. And the animation, once again, fantastic. Before I really get into it, listen, the group was just spitting out reviews. I didn't watch one thing. I mean, I actually put y'all on mute for those 2 weeks. I said, nah, you're not doing this to me. I didn't watch anything. When people were going crazy about the poster, I don't care. I don't know how you guys, I know obviously you guys have better vision than I do, but for y'all to pay that much attention to the stuff, I didn't care. Only thing I cared about was how fucking well this movie was made and produced. Now, let me just say, it's rare when you get a character and they actually make them age a little bit. So this is a year after the first movie, and Miles is, he's got his little mustache, his swag stepped up, saying, taking place in Brooklyn, my hometown. So right here in New York City is a whole thing about New York City for the first two movies. And it was just a fantastic. I mean, we start off the movie with Gwen, Spider-Woman. She has her story. We don't get right into Miles, and that part took, but it was entertaining. We got into her little story, her dilemma, and then it's boom, right into the Spider-Verse. And now we switch over to Miles, and he is doing what Miles do. Miles is swinging around Brooklyn, and we see the comedy in this movie, I'm going to say the villain in this movie was Spot. Right. And for those who don't know who Spot is, in my opinion, he is probably one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel universe, but he's low on like maybe a not even a B-list villain. Right. He's like D. Right. But his powers is crazy. Okay. So his powers is that he has spots on his body. Right. He's like, his entire body is white, but he has spots on it. And he could take these spots off and throw them. And these become like black holes. But if he jumps through one of his holes, he can go out into a different location. Right? Dope power. Once you as a superpower, it is up there. You can break into banks, you can get into people's homes real quick. But Spot himself is just a bad villain. He's like He's like the PG down version of Deadpool, but in a good way. Like if you wanted to make Deadpool PG, Spot is that. That's how I take him. He's not supposed to be this super edgy guy, but he has the humor. He has the personality. He's goofy. He doesn't understand how to use his powers. He hates Miles. He wants to like be a villain. I mean, his first scene, I was just say this one scene because it's hilarious. He's literally in a Jamaican store trying to steal an ATM. And the Jamaican man is like, man, what are you trying to do? Like, he's just going like, why are you trying to rob my ATM? He's like, I'm trying to get at the money. It's really, it's not really your ATM, right? It's the bank's ATM. You can let me take it, right? And the guy's like, what's wrong with you? And Spider-Man comes in. He has a beef patty. He's like, yo, I left the cash on it. It's just a great, the world, the way Miles interacts with the world. Maybe people could say like Peter, I never really read the comic books too much, but only a few ones. But like the way Miles interacts with his community is amazing. Being a black and Hispanic kid, just he interacts with everybody, the Spanish, the blacks, the whites, everybody in such a way where, you don't feel like it's pandering to any one culture, right? It's New York, and it feels like New York. The writers feel like, this is what it feels like. We grew up in the Bronx and Brooklyn. Funny enough, we don't see all different cultures. We see our people. We just like, you from the same neighborhood. We know who you are. We come to this pizzeria all the time, and it feels like that. And then it was a lot of family ties with Miles and his mother and his father and what they want for him, and Miles' father being a cop, and Miles always helping his father as Spider-Man, but his father never knowing that he's Spider-Man, and they build their relationship through this crime fighting unit without knowing who each other is, right? And then we just that's the beginning. That's just the beginning, and just later on in the movie, we start to see all the different Spider-Man. And when I tell you the dilemma between the Spider-Man and Miles is actually makes sense and why they feel the way they need to feel and the big reason why they're trying to, stop Miles from doing a certain thing. Yes. The Spider-Man turn on each other. I'll say that. They turn on each other. And the reason why they turn on each other, it makes sense. It's something that you wouldn't expect it to be because it goes against the normal Peter Parker turn of event canon stuff. But once they explain why they're doing what they need to do and Miles disagrees with them, it just gets wild. I mean, my boy got chased by thousands or hundreds. I don't even know, man. It was a whole universe full of Spider-Man, and they were just chasing my boy. And I was like, yo, how is he getting out of it? And he did his thing. He did his thing. Whether he got out of it or not, you have to see that. This movie, I have to be so careful because it could be any little thing. It could be a spoiler. But Spot was the perfect villain. Y'all did a great job in choosing somebody that no one knew about and making him relevant.
Yeah, I never heard of Spot. I never heard of Spot.
You know how sometimes you underestimate somebody and you're and it's a part I will say, oh, this is one of my favorite part is when they're he's absorbing this power and he said, oh, so you still think I'm a joke? You still think I'm a joke? And Miles and the other Spider-Man's like, no, you're not a joke anymore. We're not laughing at you anymore. We're not laughing. Yeah, you're gonna stop making fun of me. You're gonna stop making fun of me. And they're all turning around at each other. They're like, yo, chill, stop making jokes at this guy. He's a problem right now. And they were like, it was like 4 Spider-Men, and they're like, they all agree, yeah, we're not gonna fuck with this guy. We need to stop talking shit to him. It was the first time a Spider-Man was like, no, you got it, bro. You got it. You just chill, calm down, just calm down. It was that crazy to see Spider-Man like, oh no, he's a problem right now. He's a problem, and he was just jumping between different universes. His power just got to this level where he can just go into the different universe. And it's this one scene where he actually comes into our universe. He's talking to this lady in a bodega and some Asian lady, and he's like, you just go away, man. And it's
what do you give it out of what do you give it? What rating do you give it?
5 out of 5, bro.
Wow.
I would say
better than the last one or equal?
Better than the last one. This is what I'm saying, bro. They took the first movie and they just built on it. And they made you feel closer to the universe while taking you to this different type of universes. And when we got to the end, this is what I didn't know because I purposely made sure I saw no spoilers. This movie ended on a cliffhanger, and I got so yo, the whole movie theater yelled.
I heard the next one's the last one. That they're gonna do one more with Miles and that's it.
With Netflix, you saw?
I heard the next one's the last one. They're gonna do one more with Miles and that's it.
Yeah, maybe. The way the ending one, the last one ended was perfect. If the third one, I'm excited for the third one. The second ending was so beautiful, and I usually don't like these type of cliffhangers, but the way they executed, I actually did not see it coming. I really didn't. I was like, oh, that's not what I expected. Thought this person was gonna be dead or something, but nope, turned out a different way. So I'm excited. Because the third one means that all the Spider-Man is gonna be a war between the Spider-Man.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
And this is it. And then we're gonna get some. Yeah. Once I will say this for you to get, if you got really, really, really like, I don't know if I should see this movie. Y'all want to see what it's like when Spider-Man fight each other? Watch this movie. You want to really know what it's gonna be like? Watch this movie so you can be ready for the third movie, because the third one is gonna be it's three different groups right now.
There you go. Speaking of third movies, let's talk about our third and final movie, The Boogeyman.
Yes,
I was definitely looking forward to this movie, but I didn't know what to think.
I wasn't.
As the time for me to watch it drew near, I was getting more excited though because the reviews were coming in, and I heard that it was a very good movie. And
No, it
I
wasn't.
must say that I agree. I thought it was a very good movie. I basically it's very simple. It's a grieving family, a father and the two daughters. A guy comes in the house because the dad is a therapist. Guy comes in the house, hangs himself, and after that, basically there is a supernatural, or what you would assume is like a supernatural being attacking the family, and they call it the Boogeyman. I I really enjoyed this movie. I was dead tired when I watched it, so I was like, I'm probably gonna fall asleep. No, I thought it was very creepy. I enjoyed how it was like a lot of it was done, like in the shadows, and it was voices and stuff moving, and really nothing. You didn't really start seeing stuff until the end of the movie, or until the movie really started heating up, which is how I like a lot of those movies, where it's not right off the bat you see the monster right off the bat. It's gradual. It's like a gradual progression, and that's how I felt this movie was. It manifested all the way up until the little girl got thrown into the freaking TV, and then stuff really started popping off. Right?
That was the best part. When she got thrown into the TV, I started dying in the theater.
Oh yeah.
I could not stop laughing. It was just so unexpected. She's like, she tried to move in again. What?
Yeah, and then you got the family drama going on because the oldest daughter is having a little issue with the dad because the mom died, and she's also having an issue with her friends. And I like that aspect of it too, because when it came time for the sleepover and they locked her in the closet, she came out and slapped the shit out of him. I was like,
Yeah,
that's what you need to be doing, because them girls were annoying. She slapped the shit out of him.
From the
She was like,
beginning
oh
of
my
it.
God, your daughter's a psychopath. I'm like, yeah, I locked her in the closet. That's what happens. So that was great. I think the acting was great on pretty much from all parties.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. The story was simple, like I said. It was good. It was a creepy movie. It got creepier. It got scarier as time went on, and it had one of my favorite aspects of these kind of movies when you're dealing with like a monster or like a being. With it's always the same thing. They're getting attacked, and they go to some person's house that they know has some kind of connection with the monster, and they're like, you got to tell me what it is. And it's like, a creep. It's usually like an old person, but in this time it was the guy's wife, and she comes out with a shotgun, and they tell you like, oh, this is you're dealing with the boogeyman. It's gonna kill you. It's gonna get you. It's like, I don't know why I love those parts in these horror movies.
Reminded me of like Halloween.
Yeah, like
Old
it's
lady.
like in I forgot. I think it was the Bye Bye Man. It's in a lot of movies like that, where they'll go to the house and they'll be like, Sarah, we're getting attacked by this supernatural being. Like, oh, sit down. Let me tell you about it. It's gonna rip you up. My husband got killed from it 10 years ago, and we never been the same. I thought, and then, she had all the candles lit up, and that's when you find out you got to stay in the light. Kind of like a lot of horror movies, Darkness Falls and stuff like that. You got to stay in the light. She got the shotgun, and then it comes time for them to start fighting the boogeyman. And I'm not going to get into anything too crazy, but I'm just going to say that I thoroughly enjoyed the action scenes. The movie, just like I would say what happened with Transformers, I don't know if I said this in Transformers, but it flowed very well for me, and I was really like, it went fast. The movie went fast for me. I thought it was really good. I have virtually no complaints about this movie. I really liked it. I give it a 5 out of 5. What did you think?
Way higher than me. So I hated the dialogue so much.
Really?
The dialogue was so boring to me. It was to the point where I was predicting everything before everything happened. Like, it was just really annoying to me. And it was because of some of the aspects you were saying, right? It had a lot of that PG horror movie, right? Feeling, which a lot of it was like, okay, I've seen this before. I've seen this type of dialogue before. Seen this type of situation. This is not really too new or revolution. Like, it's not something I didn't have to pay for the movie. So like, it's not something I was looking forward to. But I will say, when talking on this, the monster element, I did like the monster element, right? I did like the monster itself. When it came down to the design and actually seeing it, I was like, oh, I like that, right? And it gave me this type of environment. It made me, instead of thinking of it as like supernatural towards like the end for me, I just said Alien.
Yeah, I thought Alien too.
You know what I'm saying? And I said Alien in my head. And that's where it was like, okay, you know what? And that aspect of it, I was like, that would not, like, with everything happening in, conspiracy theories and UFOs happening all over the country and hearing it now. I'm like, you know what? That would be a real cool concept if I look at it from an alien standpoint, other than like the actual boogeyman thing. Because then it's like, what if there's just a bunch of alien species just on Earth that we've been calling? Like,
it was mimicking voices, right? In the movie, I love that.
Voices.
I love that.
It was like echoing in the darkness, and whatever. And it had these cool abilities to hunt. So I thought of it more like an alien type of species.
Dude, when the little sister beat the big sister's ass because she thought that it was her in the shadows. The little sister was hearing the older sister's voice in the shadows. She's like, "Why the fuck?" She just kicked her ass. That was great.
One thing I will say is that little girl was the best part of the whole movie. Could we agree on that? I think she had the best scenes.
You think so?
The way that
I thought both sisters shined very well.
Nah,
I can't pick.
The thing, like the little sister reactions felt so normal, so realistic. The older one was like her sneaking into abandoned houses by herself. I was just like, get out of here with this crap. You seeing flies, you opening up people's refrigerators, you see this old lady.
Somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do, but she went with nobody. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, she was just super brave, but she wasn't brave when that bitch pushed her in the locker and she hit her. I was like, yo, where's this confidence coming from? Yeah, she went the blonde hair.
Well, she ended up like, slapping the shit out of him later, which was great.
She did. But it was little things like that. The dialogue, the father was just like a guy.
He was. I really didn't care about him. That was like, no. I don't think he was meant to be cared about.
He could have been on a weekend vacation and wouldn't have mattered. Like,
I think the only thing that mattered was they were trying to build the relationship between the daughter and the father, the trust at the end. So that was like his role in the movie. But basically, he couldn't even been there. It didn't even matter.
The movie was super fast. I was just waiting for when I knew that the little sister was in the house by herself, I looked up. You know what I'm saying? I looked up, put my phone down. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be good. She had a lot of great scenes. She had the TV. She had the when she's running around the house, but playing the PlayStation and all that stuff like that. The interaction.
Yeah.
I was like, it was just like, hearing the sounds, her trying to hide. I was just like, this poor little thing is like, this monster is really going after this little girl.
Yeah, when the boogeyman pulled her tooth out, dude.
Oh my goodness!
But it didn't look like it.
Scene. That shit was scary.
It didn't look like it. It looked like it was the door just shut on its own.
Yeah.
It was great. So yeah, what do you rate it?
I rated a 2 out of 5.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the only thing that made I really only just like the alien thing.
Wow!
It felt like a rom-com for scary movies without the rom.
I thought it was so cool, man. I thought it was a cool movie.
I thought the Boogeyman was cool. I thought everything else was so
for
familiar.
What it was. I thought simplicity, scariness. I thought it hit. Wow. Well,
I wanted more. Like when I got to the actual creature, I wanted more bodies at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was not nobody. We don't want to give too much away, but it was not a bloody movie. It was not a bloody movie.
It was very centered. And I wanted it to be a little bit more chaos, but it wasn't. So
yeah, there's not, because there weren't many people involved. There weren't a lot of moving parts. It was really just 3 people. So there's not much you could do in that respect.
I really just did not find their story interesting to me. So that was a big point taken, like this whole mom thing, and like I did like the whole aspect with the father and the daughter, younger daughter, and trying to get close to your kids. But like the whole storyline, I didn't care for. Like their personal story didn't matter to me.
Okay, well, yeah, if you don't like that, then it's gonna be a wrap, because that was a lot of the movie.
That was a lot of the movie. So if you want a chill movie with your girlfriend, it's definitely a good movie for that.
Right, there you go. So let us know if you have seen any of these movies. Let us know down below in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube. that's pretty much it for this bonus episode of GKB, baby.
Like and subscribe and share, baby. Please share, 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 share. We gotta tell you people all the time. Share, share, share. We got you guys.
Peace
That's
and
great
love.
jobs for us.
See you next time.